Hello, hello. On today's very tardy show, we're going to talk about She-Hulk, the Sandman, and boy, oh boy, the long box mystery fig has been revealed. And of course, Cover Combat, round 3. Welcome to your favorite live streaming, whatnotting podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space by Xcellar Comics. As usual, I'm your host, Kevin. I only have one co-host with me today, but it's a great one. You want to say hey, Mike?
Hey, everyone.
We actually are going to have another co-host, a fan favorite, Patrick. But this is part of the reason we're so tardy as well today. We're having technical difficulties. Just to let everybody know out there, we are hiring IT people to come help us with all this. And we're looking for a shop, a brick and mortar studio to, run the show out of. And for the pay for the IT person, it needs to be free for a very long time until we can actually make some money doing this. And we need the shop to cost nothing. That's what we can afford right now. But we're looking, it's just hard to find, right, Mike?
Yeah.
That's our budget right now, and getting IT people to work and getting a studio for freeze. That's a tough road to hoe. However that saying is. Anyway, Mike, we want to do profits first, right?
Yes. And
I'm going.
Yeah, what? You had mentioned Cover Combat round 3. We're gonna reveal the winners for round 2, and then we'll reveal the matchups for round 3.
Right.
So it's round 2 and 3.
But this is actually round 3 today. And in each round, we do the subsequent round reveals. But today is actually round 3.
Yeah.
But we're going to reveal the winners from round 2.
Right.
So it's actually round 3, right?
Yeah.
Yes. 3. Yeah. Are you ready? I remembered your intro this time.
Yeah. Let's go.
It's still a fail, though. Did you see I fixed the Oh, no, it's still the same, isn't it? Yeah. Dadgummit.
Yeah, I was wondering, and then when it popped up, I was like, oh, yeah, you didn't get to it. I mean, it's not like you haven't been busy, though, so it's...
No. Yeah, it's worse than that. It's not that I've been busy, it's my memory. Because check it. We're going to do this again. Excuse me. Here we go. Check it. Boom.
There you go. That's good. Now delete that other one.
I did. I deleted it as that one was playing. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so profits. Here we have 10 covers for their open order comic books coming out this upcoming week, August 24th. The Xcellar group and our families have selected our top 3. In order for you to win the Profits contest, you must post a comment during this live stream of the 3 covers that you think we selected as our favorites. The cutoff time for your submission will be announced at the beginning of the Pick 3 segment. Winners will receive the choice of 1 comic book listed in this top 10, and we'll ship it to you free. We'll cover the postage. So head over to the Facebook page and have a closer look at these, and then pop back on the show here and comment your 3 picks. So we'll run down. We have Amazing Spider-Man number 8, John Romita Jr., Darth Vader 26, Raza, Action Comics 1046B, Lee Bermejo, Miles Morales 41. It's Javier Rodriguez, and that's the Beyond Amazing Spider-Man variant. Ghost Rider number 4, the second printing by Corey Smith, Pearl 3, issue 4B, Zoo Orzu, and Avengers X-Men Eternal Judgment Day number 3 by Scotty Young, Carnage number 5 by Kendrick Lim, Radiant Black 17B, Diego Greco, and Janice Vell Captain Marvel 2 by Mike McCone. So those are the 10.
Very nice. That's a good 10.
Yep. I had some help.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, Mark picked 3.
What'd you say?
Mark picked 3. And then he didn't know which ones I had already selected, so he goes through, and if I picked it, then I say, no, get another one. So he picked 3, and he goes, that's no fair, because now I know exactly what 3 I'm going to pick, because they're the ones that I picked. And then he'll start, when he goes to do his actual 3 picks, he'll start looking at the ones that I've already selected, and that's where he's like, oh my gosh, this is really hard.
Well, that'd be funny if he picks 3 and his end up being the top 3. That'd be great. All right, then to the fun stuff. First thing here. Oh, sorry. All right, the S.C.R.F.L.S goal giveaway. And guess what? Last week I mentioned that it took us 2 weeks to hit our quota of 1 subscription added. What's up, Steven? But now we've made up for it, because in 1 week we got 2. So we're officially at 36 subs. Nice. So we're kind of creeping on when we get to 50. That's where the S.C.R.F.L.S comes from. If you have subscribed, commented, retweeted, followed, liked, or shared us at any point in time up until we get to 50, you're entered in a giveaway. And I've got some other exciting news today. First of all, what you'll win if you win the giveaway, or if you win I guess I should call it sweepstakes, not giveaway.
Yes.
If you win the drawing, you get 2 movie tickets, a digital code to own one of your favorite movies or shows, your choice, a CGC comic book, a Funko Pop, and a classic action figure. And since we're creeping on, hey Mom, since we're creeping on 50, I thought I'd bring a couple with me today. So here's a classic action figure. Got a really cool Batman Unlimited here. Kind of the, like I said, classic look to Batman. These are my favorite. So we got this action figure. And we got this pop. Got a Spider-Man Miles Morales Gamerverse pop.
Oh, wow.
So when we hit 40 subs, I'll definitely decide what CG Seed comic will be part of that giveaway. So specifically now, the Funko Pop you'll get is the Miles Morales Spider-Man, and the action figure you'll get is the Batman Unlimited. So we're getting there.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we could just pop off and be like at 50 next week. So, which is fine. I'll show the CGC as soon as we get to 40. And if that's over, if that's 50 or more next week, I'll still show it next week. And then the subsequent show, we will have to actually do the drawing for it. And I was thinking we'd use the spinner wheel for that. Everybody who's done all those things, we can add to the spinner wheel. We can spin that on the air too, you know, so people can actually see. Then I've got another update. Yeah, we saw that, Stephen. Actually, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you spreading the word.
Yep.
I've got another update. And speaking of Stephen being here, he's probably going to win this too anyway. But we'll see. I've got a new Fun Fan freebie idea and what the giveaway is going to be. So first of all, the next prize for the Fun Fan freebie will be this 9.8 CG Seed copy of Batman 44. This is the prelude to Catwoman and Batman's wedding. No spoilers there for anybody who knows. But anyway, this is what we're going to give away with the current Fun Fan freebie. And changing it from Fun Fan freebie phrase, I've come up with a Fun Fan freebie scavenger hunt. And basically the way it's going to work is I have that 9.8 CG Seed Batman in a certain location in the United States. And I'm going to give clues every week up until it gets to where that is. And every week that every week that I give a new clue, I'm going to add something to the Fun Fan freebie until I give the final location. Then nothing else will be added, and it'll just stay that way until someone finds it. And this is not physical. This is all just talking. I'm going to tell you the clues, and then basically people can comment where we currently are in the scavenger hunt, like in a, kind of in a make-believe kind of way. You feel me, Mike?
Kind of like the Dungeon Master.
Yes.
Everybody through this
Perfect.
treasure.
Perfect way to say it. Thank you so much. See, that's why I can't do this by myself. I meant to mention it in the pregame, but we had all kinds of other problems in the pregame. So anyway, we are starting.
Sounds like fun.
Okay, good. I'm glad you like it. Thank God, since we're doing it. So we are starting the scavenger hunt in the coldest state in the United States. So anybody want to kind of chime in? You can send me either a message. You can comment on it now. Obviously, it's going to get harder as we go along. But we're starting the scavenger hunt in the coldest state in the United States. And like I said, when we get to the end of the scavenger hunt, you'll basically tell me in this fantasy world we're going to be in for this, where the location of it is. And you tell me where it is, it's yours. First person to tell me where it is, it's theirs. Okay?
Yep. First, I thought you would have it just like hidden on Route 1 somewhere.
No. It's still in Xcellar. All right, and then the random username shout out for the week is LeeDog222. So if LeeDog222 is your username on eBay, if you let us know during the show that you're watching, we'll give you 25% off your next purchase from our eBay store at Xcellar_comics. If you see this show at any point in time, LeeDog, and you let us know in the comments, obviously we'll get a notification, even if it's 10 years from now. You will still give you 10% off your next purchase from our eBay store at Xcellar_comics.
I have an update on Patrick.
Okay, good. What is it?
He's moving to a new location.
Okay.
He's having internet issues, so he's going to another spot. Hopefully he's not going to a McDonald's parking lot, but they do have good internet.
Yeah, they do. Daggum. So we wanted to go into cover combat first, right?
Yeah.
But we don't want to do that without him here, do we?
Right. So, I mean, you can do what Kevin watched.
You want to do what?
I think the cover combat is it's the most exciting part of the show right now.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, we definitely don't want him there or not there. So
right.
Okay, so we'll move into what Kevin watched first and go to cover combat. It's when Patrick gets here. When hopefully by the time I'm done with that segment. So here we go. Actually, I hope he shows up before the end of the segment. Actually, because I wanted to hear his input on some of these things, of course. But I think I'm going to assume you've watched a couple of them as well. So
yeah.
So here we go. First thing I watched is a movie called War Hunt, and this is on Hulu. And this attracted my attention because of Mickey Rourke. Look at him right there in the middle. This is a new Mickey Rourke movie. Well, I think it came out in 2021. But you know, obviously I had Alicia Silverstone recently. I talked about Donald Sutherland recently. All these old actors from when we were younger that were obviously the A-list actors have obviously fallen from grace. Who knows exactly why? But correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. The way I think about old actors when we were young was that the old A-list actors didn't move to become B-list and even further actors. They just started playing old people characters in movies, right? Is that the way you remember it when we were kids?
Yeah. Yeah, they were still A-list. They just played, different.
Yeah, their characters. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't it seem like now, especially since I'm obviously leading this conversation, that the old A-list actors from we were kids now are, they aren't aging and being older characters. They're starting to move down the totem pole of quality movies, right? Does it seem that way?
It does.
So that being said, War Hunt, definitely like a B-list movie, but it wasn't actually that bad. So this might be something you might dig, Mike. This takes place in World War II. And, I don't know whether this is actual factual statement that I'm getting ready to make, but it's been said so many times, especially in movies and TV shows. It could be true for all I know. But, Hitler is always looking for kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like he was obviously looking for the Ark and all the magical powers that the Ark would give you. But is it an actual thing that Hitler was looking for all these kind of mysterious, what's the word I'm looking for? Fantastical
artifacts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know if that's actually true or not?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, in this movie, what?
I don't know one way or the other whether it's if he was or definitely
true or not. Well, this movie is centered around the Tree of Life, which I don't even know if the Tree of Life is actual true. Man, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me after the show, I'm sure. But huh?
I said yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. So the Tree of Life, I don't know whether that's a true fictional thing that like people actually believe exists or not, but the Tree of Life is a way towards immortality, and we actually follow this American unit, military unit that Mickey Rourke is kind of I don't even think he's like a general or anything. I'm not sure exactly what he is, but it's kind of in charge of this special forces unit that he sends them originally to just find this crash plane that was crashed behind enemy lines. But we find out he was secretly sending them to find this Tree of Life because Hitler's aware of this tree of life, and he's looking for it. So we want to find it first and destroy it, so Hitler can't use it for bad things. All that, kind of thing. So it's actually not too bad, and the special effects weren't horrible either. Basically, this tree of life, there's witches there that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years because they take soldiers and war fighters in general's blood, and they feed the tree of life with their blood, and then it blooms these flowers that then they can eat and be immortal and young forever. So it's not a horrible movie, but again, it's like a B movie. So if it was an A-list movie in the theaters or whatever, everybody would trash it and say it's horrible. But since it's just a B-list, I watched it for free on Hulu. It wasn't too bad. I'd give it a good 7. So.
Yep. I definitely like the bottom part of the poster.
Hey, Patrick.
There he is.
Oh, did I add you to the screen too fast? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm ready.
Okay.
Sort of. I'm just listening to War Hunt. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I figured you'd like the bottom part of that poster, Mike. I figured, yeah. And Mickey Rourke looks pretty good for his age too. He's had some work done, I think, but
yeah, I think he had some work done. Plus, he was a boxer, so he had a lot of.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is not horrible for a random, freebie to watch on digital. So. All right, then I watched Save Yourselves. This is also on Hulu. I think I was on kind of a Hulu trend this week. This is a comedy, and I started watching this. I don't know the main actor and actress in this. If you can see their names on there and read them, please help me out. But
John Reynolds, Sunita.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So basically the synopsis of this movie attracted me to it, so I gave it a shot. And the trailer's pretty funny. So it's a comedy about this young couple, these two people you just mentioned. They've decided that they need to get off the grid because their phones consume their life, and just the internet in general, their emails and all that, everything consumes their life. So as a couple, they've decided to make a pact to go off the grid for a week. And they let all their friends know that they're just going to this cabin in the woods. They're turning off their phones, not taking their laptops, not checking their emails, yada, yada, everything for a week. And of course, the planet is invaded the week they're off the grid. And the aliens that invade the planet are none other than the fluffy puff aliens from Star Trek. What were those things called? I know you're not a Trekkie or anything, Mike, but do you remember that classic Star Trek episode? What'd you say?
Trilobites? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Tribbles, something like that, yeah. Patrick, are you still there? Do you remember that? What are they called?
Yeah, Tribbles. You're right.
Tribbles, okay. Now, I say that tongue-in-cheek, though, because they're not actually the Tribbles. There's no trademark infringement here on the Tribbles. But the aliens that do attack our planet look just like the Tribble. They're about a double size of the Tribbles that we'd know from Star Trek, but they're just a big fluffy fur ball that rolls around. They do have these tongues that shoot out, and they can actually stick to it with the tongue to fly around all over the place. But then they also can kill people with the tongues that like a spike through the head. They use their tongue and they kill people that way too. But this is totally a lighthearted comedy. And like I said, the trailer looks hilarious. There's a lot of funny parts in the trailer. As you can imagine, going through the evolution of discovering the aliens, and then they're like, oh my God, we got to call somebody. And then they go to call somebody, they turn their phones on, and they've got like 100 voicemails and emails of people like, oh, where are you at? The world's being taken over, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it's a real funny premise. So I really enjoyed the premise, and there is some funny parts, and I especially enjoyed this too. Something that was a little bit refreshing for me in this is these are kind of, millennials that are all about, saving the environment and equality and all the modern things. And there is a lot of self-deprecation in this, which I think is one thing that is missing with that crowd. Is they're kind of holier than thou to an extent, and they like I said, there's a lot of self-deprecation in this, in funny ways, of course. So that was refreshing to at least have that. These aren't really preachy kids. They know they've got issues, and they're not the peak of humanity. But anyway, unfortunately, though, after everything was over, this is not a good movie.
Hold on. I just wrote it down. Like, I'm gonna go watch this. Let me cross it off now.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Most of the funny parts were in the trailer. It's one of those, you know.
I'll watch the trailer.
Yeah. The rest of it really wasn't that funny, and the ending was horrible. I'm not even going to give it away. It was so bad. So if anyone ever checks it out, I don't ruin it for them from the beginning. But I went through the whole thing, even though I really wasn't enjoying it that much, to see where it went. But the ending is just, oh my God, it's so bad. So
yeah,
meaning it was bad and it was not funny, which made it even worse. You know, so I give this like a 4. You know. The acting was okay. The dialogue was weak. The plot was great in my opinion. I think, you know, if someone did a movie like this, but it was actually quality from beginning to end, it could be hilarious. But anyway,
hey, I was wondering if this was, you said 4. I can't remember, you know, all of your ratings, but it would be great to see a list maybe for the end of the year show of everything that you've watched with your rating and put them in order.
Man, this is why I say we, you know, one of the reasons we've been friends for so long, because we clicked. Because I was totally thinking something similar. You've actually taken a little bit farther, and I like your idea better than mine. But I was just thinking today when I was, you know, getting ready for the show and everything, that all of us should make a list of the comics we reviewed, and then I could make a list of all the movies I reviewed. And but I didn't think about that, having them. We could reveal them at the end of the year show too. That'd be fun. Yeah. But I definitely I realized I need to start tracking it so I know kind of where I am, especially since, you know, with my comic reviews, I'm trying to kind of stay on the same comics, you know. So
yeah.
But that's a great idea. I'm gonna implement that this week for sure. All right, then I watched Settlers, which is also on Hulu, and this is kind of funny. I didn't even pick this one. I can't remember. I think I was preparing for the Whatnot show on Friday, and I don't remember exactly what I watched before this, but I just didn't touch my controller, and then, you know, it says up next, and it's got the next thing it plays, and it played this movie, and I actually saw the trailer for this movie before, and I thought, oh, that looks okay, but for some reason it didn't reel me in. Man, I was glad I let this play, because it sucked me in almost immediately. And this is a great movie. I do have one complaint, which I'll talk about in the end here. But overall, it's a great movie. I don't know any of these actors and actresses, but you can see them at the top too if you want to kind of run through that for me. But this basically is about humans settling on Mars, and it hasn't gone as planned, I guess. And basically the focus of this movie is on the two in the middle, that lady, and that's her husband to the right of her, and their daughter at the bottom of the screen. And they're just kind of living on this settlement that actually is a really nice settlement on Mars. But we don't come to find out till later that basically all other settlements and cities and everything they did on Mars kind of failed. But we focus on the husband and wife and the daughter for maybe a half hour or so. But then the gentleman in the middle and the top of the poster there shows up with about 3 or 4 of his friends. And then there's this fight, and he ends up to be the only one living out of the ones involved in the fight. And he basically takes over the settlement to live with the mother and the daughter. So now it's just the guy at the top of the poster and the mother and the daughter living on this settlement. And he's actually got he defends himself for attacking them, saying, "This was my parents' settlement. You took it from them." And later we find out that's actually the truth. The husband and wife and the daughter actually came in as welcome guests for the original owners, which was the guy in the middle's parents. and I guess the guy in the middle's parents discover that they are actually not good people I guess they might have a prejudgment about Earthlings or something. I guess this is a long time in the future. So, there was a lot of settlements on Mars for a long time. So they kind of had problems with Earthlings or something. So anyway, when his mother and father discover that the husband and wife are from they're from Earth, they want to kick them off the settlement, and they've got their daughter. And since the rest of Mars has gone to hell in a handbasket, they don't want to leave. So then they end up having to kill his mom and dad to stay there. So for the first third of the movie, we think they're good people just living in the settlement. And then we find out they're actually the bad guys after this other guy that we assume is the bad guy for a period of time. So there's a lot of twists and turns in this. I won't run through the whole entire movie, but in my opinion, this sucked me in the first 5 or 10 minutes, and it kept me. I stopped doing what I was doing and just to focus on this movie. It was so good. It was so well done, in my opinion.
It sounds really good.
Yeah. I give it a solid 9, actually. So the only complaint, like I said, I got one complaint, is when this ended, I actually thought when I first saw this trailer a while back, this was going to be a series. So it kind of ends. It ends in a decent spot. It's not a horrible ending, but man, they could make another movie for this overnight, and I would watch it again. Watch it again. It was good. It could be a series, in my opinion. Might even have been better if it was a series instead of a movie. But I really liked it. So then I watched The First. This has Sean Penn in it. And another, I didn't write this one down because I was like, I don't totally remember her name. I know her. I can't remember her name right now. But anyway, this one came up because, like I said, with the settlers, that takes place on Mars. This is a series that is about us trying to get to Mars. So the first people that go to Mars, I only watched the first 2 episodes of this, but man, this is so good. This is actually from 2018, so I guess the second season ain't coming, and it makes me sad because I just started watching this and I was like, then I was like looking it up. I'm like, man, is there more than one season? And so I don't know whether they complete everything in the one season that's on, but it's only a 1 season show. But it was great. And the score in this is amazing. We talked about scores recently because of other things I watched, and man, the scores are so important, and this has a great one. So the first, with Sean Penn, the first 2 episodes, again, I'll give it a solid 9. So it's a great show. Yeah, it's on Hulu as well.
I'm taking notes on these 2 9s.
Okay. Call me out if I'm wrong. You might. I definitely think for sure you'll like them. I don't know whether you'll give them 9s, but I think for sure you'll like them.
Yeah.
All right. Then I got to Sandman on Netflix.
Oh, comic books. Now we're talking.
Yeah. So thanks to Pat for this one, because I didn't even think this was out yet. And Pat was on he came to the Whatnot show on Friday for a minute, and for longer than a minute. He was there for a bit. And, Mike, how you had those couple Sandman comics that you had me put on the show. So then I started talking about Sandman, and then I was like, I don't know when it's coming out, blah, blah. And then Patrick in the feed, in the stream, told me, hey, dummy, it's already out.
I didn't use those words.
What'd you say?
I didn't use those words.
I know. He didn't say that. Patrick, that's how I talk. Patrick doesn't talk like that. But anyway, he's perpetually a nice guy. But anyway, I checked out the first 2 episodes of this. Did anybody else watch it? I know, Patrick, you told me you watched the first episode. Did you get to the second by chance?
Yeah, we've seen the first 3 now.
Okay. Mike, have you seen it all?
First 3.
Nice. Okay. So what are your feelings on it, Pat?
Well, we like it. I have to say that I have no basis to judge this on because I never read the comics, shockingly enough. Chelsea's sort of the Neil Gaiman fan in the family, but even she has never read Sandman. So it's all new stuff to us. Of course, I have a little bit of familiarity with it, but I never read the book. So, but I think both of us are enjoying it so far.
Mike?
Yeah, I read issues. Now this is gonna sound odd. 8 through 16 because that because that was the trade paperback that I bought
Oh,
way
okay.
back when. So I read those because that's 8 had the first appearance of Death, and that's what I wanted to read.
Okay.
Because those early books, they were expensive early. And then I also read the 2 Death miniseries, but I did glance through issue 1 to see how well it followed, and it followed the book really, really well.
Oh, that's good to hear. Okay, good. Yeah, that was gonna be my first question for both of you, whether you read it or not. But yeah, I hadn't read it at all either. But that's really good to hear that it follows it.
Yeah, I think the biggest changes are the Death's appearance.
Yeah.
We haven't seen her yet, but I saw snippets, and it seemed really well done. And Constantine, which is that's the English for we always say Constantine.
Yeah, well, I was kind of surprised when he said Constantine the way he did. Yeah, yeah.
And I started thinking that maybe the reason that because even Lucifer is a woman in here, and then we've got Johanna Constantine. So I'm wondering if since there were already TV shows representing those characters, they kind of wanted to separate as much as they can from them, so they didn't tie together at all, so people didn't make the connection.
Well, I think that's a very nice thought, and I hope it's true.
Yeah, because Lucifer, it was basically, from what I understand, it didn't follow the book at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't help it that this is kind of agenda-driven, gender swap stuff. But if it is because they want to separate themselves from those others, that's fine. That'd be something I'd prefer, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and
because I was noting that obviously, but this is still good in my opinion too. So you liked it overall too, Mike, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. It's really
yeah.
well
It's
done.
very ominously creepy and and it's a little slow. I was thinking that while I was watching it that it was kind of slow, but I wasn't minding it. Everything else was kind of done well enough to where I had to really kind of think about how it was kind of slow, but I thought it was pretty good. Jesse's liking this as well. So
yeah, Emily likes it. Patrick, you say Chelsea liked it?
I think she never really said much, but she seemed like she was engaged.
But yeah, me only being 2 episodes in on this too, I'll give it an 8 so far as well. We'll see. But yeah, it's all good stuff. And then I watched the first episode of She-Hulk. What is y'all's status on this?
We watched it.
I have not watched it. I've been seeing everything from it's really, really fun to it's really, really terrible. So I'm looking forward to watching it, and I really, really want to like it. So I'm going in wanting to like it. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's the best way, definitely. I go into want to like them all too.
Yeah,
every time. Yeah,
man, I want to hate this movie so bad.
Yeah, I try to not focus on what the haters think, but when I do focus on what the haters think, my focus is, man, I hope they're wrong. What do you think, Patrick?
We liked it for the most part. Chelsea's comment was she wished we would have watched this ahead of Valor seeing it, because it was definitely more adult than most of the Marvel stuff that's been out there so far.
Yeah.
Because Mark wants to watch it too. Dang it. Well, now I'm not happy.
Well, okay, here's what I got to say. So I'm just conceding to the fact that, and this is kind of going to seem maybe ironic, my thought process was just ironically incorrect. I was hopeful whenever Disney bought, all the Star Wars and the Marvel, that they'd kind of stay on the same arc they were on prior to, them owning it. But I mean, obviously, everything Disney's doing now is just, female centric. Obviously, this is She-Hulk, so I was expecting it a lot with this. I'm not digging on it because of that. But I will say the only thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way about this is, I feel like there's a concerted effort to be like, women are better, almost, to kind of, for lack of a better way to describe it. I don't know anything about the comics. I never read a She-Hulk comic, so I don't know whether this is how the comics were or not. But you know, with obviously her not only dealing with being She-Hulk better and kind of the explanation they gave us as to why she deals with being She-Hulk better and kind of more efficiently and quicker than Bruce did as becoming Hulk, it just got a little negative towards men in general. And, you know, I'll say this: I love women, and not in some kind of objective way. I was raised pretty much by my sister, my mother, and my grandmother. I didn't have a big male role model in my life for most of it. Obviously, I've got 2 daughters. I've been married for a long time. I love women. There's no negativity about women whatsoever. But it rubbed me the wrong way how there is this kind of message that, you know, women get talked down to and women get treated poorly just because they're women, and you know, they have to control themselves because of all these problems they have. So that's kind of how they kind of explained to us how she could kind of control herself better than the Hulk. At least that's the way I interpreted it. You know, I'm going to ask for your opinion after, but you know, I've been all the ways that they want to kind of describe women and the problems they have in their life are problems that I can totally relate to. I've had those same problems by men and women. You know, we're not different animals just because we're different genders. You know, in my opinion, we're extremely similar. So I thought that was kind of a real weak way to explain why she was able to handle being She-Hulk better than Hulk quicker or whatever, because the you know, that's the woman's, you know, everything she has to deal with, that, you know, it's prepared her for this, as if men don't deal with those same problems. And like I said, it's like, no, it goes for the same way with all kinds of problems that people have, and they try to have this, you know, try to kind of create this tribalistic prejudices against the others that you aren't, because they don't understand your life and they don't understand you. But in my opinion, we are all far more similar than we are different. And, you know, all the things that were done poorly in the past that we've all learned from, regardless of whether we've kind of formed different opinions on the present, doesn't mean, I think we're all learning things. And how women used to be treated, obviously, especially from the government, was poor and wrong. And we've kind of moved on from that. But men have really similar problems to women. I mean, if you want to start talking about how men don't know what it's like to be pregnant, okay, yeah, that's one. But talking about how men don't know what it's like to have to control their emotions and have to deal with people talking down to them and have to deal with, you know, prejudices in general for miscellaneous reasons, whether it was because, you know, I was fat when I was a kid, or I have a big nose and people pick on me. I mean, those are maybe, I'm not trying to minimize, like, those are major problems, but I'm just saying, I think we can all relate better than they kind of represented in the show. And it seems like a typical thing that Disney's doing with modern day shows and movies. Like, women are such different creatures from us in the life that they lead. You know, I just don't agree with that. I think we've all got a lot of problems. I feel like regardless of what gender, race, religion, or anything you are, it's more about financial brackets socially than it is all these other differences they want to give, you know. So anyway, that's me off of my soapbox there for a minute. So the only other thing I had a criticism of this was, but I do know this is from what I've seen from the art from the She-Hulk comics. Man, I used to, I almost booted up some pictures from my past. When I was a Marine, or when I was in the Marine Corps, for my first year, I had this obsession with bodybuilding women. I actually have pictures of my Foot Locker and locker in the Marine Corps, and I had pictures of women, bodybuilding women. You know, that was really my thing when I was that age. And why could, you know, she beside her skin tone changes and she gets taller, and I guess she gets more fit, but she's not really muscle bound at all, you know?
As She-Hulk or
Yeah.
Jennifer? Oh, okay.
I didn't think she was very big at all, aside from obviously her height, and she's thicker. She's not like muscle bound. She's like, I thought, why not just have a big muscle bound presence? Yeah, you know.
It depends on the artist depiction. She's sometimes she's drawn more muscular, sometimes she isn't at all. So it's kind of like a, you know. And I will go back and sort of comment on what you said there, Kevin. I can see where you're coming from, but I don't think this is an unusual take on She-Hulk or Jennifer Walters at all.
Okay.
This sort of in character with her. She was a mousy, pushed around woman. Nobody took her seriously. And this is going back years. And that's why she loved being She-Hulk so much, because she was powerful, more confident. I think it kind of nails sort of her comic book origins and character. And I think she's highly likable, both as Jen Walters and as She-Hulk. So I think the show has that going for it.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about her gaining control, I mean, that's sort of in the comics too. She was one of the first smart Hulks, you know, way before Bruce nailed it down. She was in control of her Hulk side, and
right away. Okay.
Didn't even want to be Jen Walters anymore.
Well, that's kind of the opposite of this show, though. They kind of represent she doesn't want to be She-Hulk at all.
Right now, yeah. I mean, that's sort of what it was in the comics too. She started out as a mindless Hulk too, but she gained more confidence and found out that she actually liked being She-Hulk.
Okay. Well, I guess that's good to hear. I mean, yeah, like I said, I hadn't read anything, so I don't know how, much this kind of goes with that. So that's good to hear. So, did you guys have any critiques about it? Anything that bothered you about it at all?
Just the sort of more adult leanings.
Oh, right. Yeah. Why'd it go there? Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mike?
I haven't watched it. But
you haven't watched it yet. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay.
But that's where I would, hearing that, I'm disappointed because, I guess it's just if I wasn't a parent, I go back to before I was a parent. The movies I watched and the was scarier and gorier and more adult, the more I enjoyed it. But now I look at things a little bit differently. I look at stuff that, oh man, I want to watch this with Mark or Cora. But some things you just can't. I'm like, dang it.
Did you think she kind of looked funky though when they had her screaming too, Pat? I mean, that's all digitally enhanced stuff too, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, even back when they first showed the first trailer and everybody was knocking the CGI. I mean, I go back to looking at Hulk and Endgame and thinking, it's not that far off. I mean, I could never, I feel like I'm pretty critical of things like that, but I could really never see the shortcomings the way other people were seeing it in the trailer, and I didn't really see improvements with the second trailer, and I just think it's fine. I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just thought, I really wasn't like, I'm kind of the same way. I don't really notice those big complaints people have with CGI sometimes, and so it's not even really a CGI complaint for me. I just thought the way she looked was kind of funky, like it wasn't like scary. I thought they were trying to pull her off, obviously being scary and intimidating or whatever, but it was actually a funny moment for me when I saw her acting that way. I was like, I couldn't tell whether she was doing it like sarcastically to mock the Hulk or whether she was trying to be legitimately intimidating. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I can't exactly remember the moment you're talking about, so I'm kind of failing you there, but yeah.
Okay. When they were fighting in the woods and she did it a couple times. Yeah.
I kind of heard early, everyone was like, don't miss the, after credit scene, don't miss the after credit scene. And I was like, this is what everyone was hyping up. I didn't like it. I didn't like that at all, really.
Yeah. That's exactly what I think too. I was totally shocked that's the one that everybody was like, hey, don't forget after credits, which it's kind of like, why do people say that anymore anyway? If you watch anything Marvel and you don't stay till after the credits, what are you doing? And,
supposedly She-Hulk's going to have one after every episode. So
okay, but yeah, when they did that, I was like, seriously, really? Yeah, exactly. So
even non-Marvel movies at this day and age, we
are moving into that. Yeah,
we stay until the credits are over anyway, just in case.
Yeah,
I think there's a website that'll allow you, that'll tell you
There is one.
Yeah.
And following up from last week's discussion, I looked to see a movie's runtime does include the credits, by the way. I double checked on it.
Nice.
There you go.
I'm going to say Tyler probably hasn't even watched that episode yet because I think we called him out like 2 or 3 times last week, and he didn't mention any of them to me. So I'm totally assuming he didn't watch it. So, anyway. All right, but that's it. That's it for me. I actually got 6 watched this week. I'm trying to keep it at 5, but then I was like, oh, man, I totally didn't think about She-Hulk to the last minute, and Sandman wasn't exactly planned. So, okay. Oh, you know what? I think I actually may have fibbed a little bit. Hold on here. We talked about the segment wheel when we're going to do the segment wheel, Mike.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, I totally forgot. I did make a video.
Your memory's terrible.
I'm totally kidding. I did remember, but I didn't want to tell you guys. I wanted it to be a surprise.
So you probably made it 5 minutes after the show ended last week.
Yeah, exactly. That was like the first thing I did. Are you ready?
Yeah. By your giggles, I imagine that I'm wrong.
So just to bring everybody up to date on this. So we've had a little controversy, first of all, as to when we want to do the segment wheel, which ironically enough, after I showed this, we've completely picked a different time to do the segment wheel. The segment wheel will be at the end of the show now, right, before the recap. So we kind of...
In the post-credits scene.
Oh, man, that would have been a good idea, too. But no. So we're doing the segment wheel at the end of the show. It's not going to be before the segment that was rolled last week or after, which is what the video you're getting ready to see addresses. It's completely moved to the end of the show. So, but this still applies because Mike and I had a disagreement last week, which that's in this video. And are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I literally for 2 weeks in a row, I was like, let's do it later. And you were like, no, man, my phone's dying. My phone's dying. Well, the first week it was because my phone's dying. And the second week you were like, well, I'm ready now. I just don't want to have to bring it up again. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just officially change the segment to be first. Or I mean, the segment wheel to be first. That's what we said last week. Am I wrong, Pat?
Maybe.
We have it on video.
It is.
Roll the tapes.
Yeah, I'm not ready, so.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I'm going to isolate a video next week.
I know you are. Right or wrong, you got to isolate this.
I will. You know I will. I handle being wrong pretty well, but I'm right. Trust me.
I don't mean to interrupt, but can we do the wheel spinner for next week before my battery dies?
Yeah, we can do that. What I was thinking was we do what we spun last week, and then we'd be like, okay, next week's is going to be boom.
Okay.
But since you got battery issues, we can do it now. No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah,
take it
and
away.
next week I'll be more prepared, but my phone's been sitting here for over an hour.
Gotcha.
Waiting.
Gotcha.
Well,
What'd
let's
you say,
do the
Mike?
wheel for next week. Are we going to do a spin the wheel for next week?
Yes.
Yeah.
But like I said last week, was your phone about ready to die again? I want to spin the wheel once we're done with this current week's. You know what I mean? Like that would be the last thing. Once we cover the current segments that we did because of what we spun last week, then we spin the wheel. That's what I was thinking. How's your phone doing today?
Well, it's dying as the show goes on.
You have an iPhone, don't you?
Yeah, I had it set up.
The battery life on those iPhones suck. You should just get a Pixel.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. My Pixels suck too. But
Right,
anyway,
I've got it all set up now, so I don't have to interrupt the show later to set it all up.
so we want to do it first. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Right.
So first thing we'll do is, so this will do every week from now on, so we don't have to keep killing the listeners who don't care about this conversation. So, Mike, we want to start with the segment wheel, right?
No, I'm set to do it later on. Because I said this last week or last time we'll do it, and then I thought I would fix it to where we can do it later. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong.
Boy.
That's hilarious.
That was supposed to be a little clip. You know, that was like a whole episode by itself.
Yeah. You're muted.
Oh, man.
Sorry, that's why I had to put it at the bottom of our dashboard here and keep us to the side, because it was too long a clip to put in the regular. But I had a lot to cover there.
Right.
That's good stuff, though, right?
That was funny.
Okay, good. Okay.
And I like the introduction too. That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Of course.
I've got that ready from now on. So no matter who has any disputes, I can, of course, paste, into that anytime it happens. And you need me to get video evidence together. That was fun for me. I probably watched that thing like 20 times because I'm like, hey, check this out. Come here, watch this. But like I said, anyway, the segment wheel is not going to be either one of those. It's going to be at the end of the show now. So, okay.
Right.
All right. So now we're ready for cover combat, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
So we're starting with the root.
Yeah, I meant to tell you, I loved your TikTok video on that too, Patrick. That was awesome. Mike. Sorry, what?
I need to get TikTok then. I haven't seen those.
Oh, yeah, they're good. He's doing a great job for us on there. That's for sure. All right.
So first thing we're doing is the results from last week, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I need to.
I've got my tissues. Ready. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Never mind. Go ahead. Yeah. First thing we're doing is round two. Yeah, go ahead. Good. Sorry.
Right. We're doing. This is where I'm. Dang it. Getting all set up here. This is why I wanted the second computer to work, but it wouldn't work. Hi. Almost there.
Okay. Oh, that was another joke you missed, Patrick, while you were away. I said, we're looking to hire an IT person to help us with all of our IT woes. We're also looking to get a brick and mortar studio to set everything up so we don't have to deal with all this every week. And our financial budget for both of those is $0. So if anybody knows somebody that's willing to get in the bottom floor to help us and then get paid way later, let us know.
All right. Is my screen showing the cover combat stuff?
Patrick, are you frozen right now? Oh, man. He is frozen and silent.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I got you. You're still good on my screen, at least.
What's on my screen? Is it Cover Combat or is it me?
It's you. It's you.
Oh.
You just got to add this like this.
Oh, hold on. Oh, okay, so we're good. Yeah, I just didn't add it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Patrick left just in time to miss it again. Daggum.
Yeah, I was trying to watch on my phone to see where we are. Want me to wait until he pops back in to roll through these?
Yeah, I've got something to talk about. Let's do that real quick. I've got something to talk about that's combat or cover combat related.
Okay.
While we wait for Pat to get back in here, okay?
Right.
All right. So we talked about once again how I can't help myself. I want to do giveaways and freebies all night long, right?
That you do.
I've got a giveaway. So here's what it is. This isn't going to actually apply until after you reveal the round 3 books, because then we've got all 60 covers that are involved, right? I've got a prize if you predict today. This prize only applies, I shouldn't say today. This prize only applies until next week when we go to reveal what wins the combat that you're going to set up today, okay?
Round 3.
If you predict the winner of the whole thing between now and next week, at this point in time, you will win. You ready?
Yeah. Wow. That's
The
heavy.
75th anniversary Vibranium collection. All right, Patrick, I'm glad you're here. This is what people can win if they predict after Mike shows the final 20 comics that are involved in cover combat. If you can predict the winner before we reveal the eliminations next week, you win this ridiculous 75th anniversary Vibranium collection of Captain America. And this thing is
Patrick's gone
like
again.
20 pounds, right?
Yeah, that thing is huge.
Retail value of this sucker's $200. It's like a big hardcover and a slipcase.
Yep.
Coffee table book. But
Yeah,
if you
like you can
predict,
actually use it as a coffee table.
so again, I'm going to cover how this works again. If you predict between now, or actually, if you predict once Mike reveals what the final 20 covers that are involved in the top 60 are, and before they're revealed next week, and what you predict ends up being the winner, so you got to make your prediction in this next week.
Right.
And if who you predict, or if the cover you predict is the ultimate winner, I'll send this to you.
Where do they send their guesses?
I think anywhere, right? Anywhere we see it.
Yeah, I can comment on the episode. They can Facebook.
Send us an email at xcellarcomics@gmail.com. Right?
That's cool.
Is that awesome?
Yes.
And what I'm going to do is then next week, I'm going to show another item. This is the top dog. This is the best one. The rest aren't going to be as valuable. And then up until the final week, and that week will be like, the least valuable prize because it'll keep being whittled down every week, of course. So If you can predict it at the point we are right now, which is only 40 covers right now, so it's good odds, right?
Yeah.
You'll
Now,
get
I have
this
a question.
What?
It's going to be hard for one person to win. What happens if two people select the same cover? Which I mean,
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, Mike. First person to predict it. Okay, so actually, we're going to isolate this even more.
Yeah.
You have to comment on this video. The only place you can predict it is here, so it'll keep the order of predictions. You know, so you have to predict it here on this video. It doesn't have to be during the live stream; it can be later. You know, but it has to be on this video. And yeah, yeah, you'd love this, Steven. I guarantee it. This is awesome. And the reason I picked this is because, of course, the 75th anniversary cover was eliminated last week, but it's still awesome. But you have to predict it in this stream, and like Mike said, if multiple people would predict the same cover, it's whoever predicted it first. Is that all good? That
is good.
Okay. And I'm gonna whittle one other thing down too. The only people that can participate in this are the people that are in the Xcellar group. So Mark, Valor, Chelsea, even Emily, even my wife. Well, that would be stupid for her to predict it, but anyway, anybody the only people that can't win this are the people that are actually in the Xcellar Comics group on Facebook right now. Anybody else can predict it. So you can tell your brother and your cousin or whatever who recently signed up, right, Pat? They're not limited in this one. They can predict.
Yeah.
Is everything clear?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said before Patrick loses internet again, we should get rolling.
Okay.
The entire power went out in the whole building.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
It's following me around today.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to say, so are we clear? Are all the rules I just said clear on this?
Yeah,
Anybody have any questions?
No, it's everything that's all the covers that are still remaining after today's episode.
But you have to predict it before they're eliminated next week. Yeah.
Correct.
The prediction. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. And then it can only be on this video.
Right.
All right. Cool. Okay. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. All right. Is everything good on the screen there? Because I'm not looking at it.
This just in. Johnny has left the group, so he can vote on this. No, I'm just kidding. But my wife did say that she's going to win it. You know what she's going to do, though? If she wins it, she's going to sell it.
Yeah, dollar signs. That's what our wives see with our collections.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, oh, look at this book. This thing sells for like $200. Are you going to sell it? Well, no. We have that conversation weekly.
Yeah, me too. That's whenever I showed Jesse the CG Seed Hulk 181. She's like, okay, we're going to sell it now. And I'm like, no. All right. Anyway, like you said, we better get at it.
Yeah. All right. So here we go with round 2. We're going to start with Captain America 332 versus Batman Superman World's Finest. I think that's number 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And here comes the reveal. Batman Superman World's Finest.
Nice.
That won 12-6.
That's another bad cap to lose, but I think I felt the same regardless of who won this one. I like them both a lot. It was tough.
Yeah, that one was close for a while, and then I went to the Facebook votes, and holy cow, it was just, it took over. So next up, we have Star Wars Dark Empire #1 versus the Infinity Gauntlet #1. Star Wars.
Oh,
This one was close, 10-8.
yeah, that was a tough one too. Yeah, definitely.
Couldn't be any closer unless it was a tie. So
Right.
last week we had 25 participants. This week we had 18. We'll try to reel in those extra 7 again.
Yeah.
All right, next up.
Well, hopefully now that this bad boy is added, people will participate in general more.
Yeah.
That's the idea, people. Participate. Everybody can vote. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yep. Next up, Venom, Lethal Protector #1 versus Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, 79. I love those long titles. I mean, geez. There we have it. Venom received 11 votes and Lois Lane 7.
That was a little predictable.
Yeah, I was surprised that Lois Lane got 7. I mean, that cover it's a good cover, but it's one you can't just look at it; you have to read it.
Yeah, it is a great cover, but yeah, it's just not flashy. That's for sure.
And that's what seems to win is flash.
Yeah.
Next up, Amazing Spider-Man 362 versus Spawn #1.
Hold up. I think we skipped one on your chart here.
Oh, I have things in different orders. Nope, I did skip it. World's Finest 261.
Okay.
Versus Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes #23. Long titles. Here we go. And the winner is Supergirl. Another close one. 10 votes to 8.
That one was controversial in my family. They don't like the Supergirl midriff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Supergirl's about being powerful, not about being sexy in my house.
Yeah, but that's Adam Hughes, and he does both, sexy and powerful.
Yeah, I know. It's not my complaint. I was just telling you what mine.
All right, now we have Amazing Spider-Man 362 versus Spawn #1.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Hold on.
All right.
All right, I'm ready.
Sign of relief.
Thank you. Was that one close too?
Yeah, all the McFarlane fans are a sigh of relief. Yes, it was 10-8.
Nice.
There were these. Well, now that I look down, that one was kind of a landslide. But there were a lot of really close ones.
Nice.
Okay, now this one, Batman 400, Bill Sienkiewicz versus Neil Adams with Action Comics 419. This is like a heartbreaker no matter who wins.
Oh.
Yep.
Poor robot Batman.
What's that?
Poor robot Batman.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, that Action Comics is so dynamic with...
Yeah, it's such a better cover than that Batman one. I agree.
Well, 13 people agree with you, and 5 disagree.
What? No, I'm just kidding. I know.
All right, next up. Amazing Spider-Man 300 versus Starman 79. Todd McFarlane again. Amazing Spider-Man.
Thank God.
That one was 11-7. So that was pretty close as well. All right. Next up, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen 115 versus Classic X-Men #1. And this one had a tally of 15-3.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Art Adams with that Classic X-Men.
Nice. I'm liking this week so far.
Well, hold your breath. No. Next up, we have Captain Marvel #1, the J. Scott Campbell variant versus Crisis on Infinite Earths #12, the George Perez. And there's a lot going on in that George Perez cover.
Yeah, there is.
That's what he's known for. Crisis, victorious 11-7.
Nice.
Was there? And in our household, there were some comments on the Captain Marvel. They weren't fans of how she was drawn, and I'm like, well, that's J. Scott Campbell for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
And finally, Batman 366 versus Flash 750. This was a hard one. This one was a 10-8, so closest it can be without a tie.
We've had 4 of those this week, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was 4 of them. And here we go. Batman, Walt Simonson.
I mean, that Flash cover's great, but there's something just with his. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly with his face or something. It wasn't just a little off for me. Yeah. Not I love that Batman cover. That was an easy pick for me in general.
Yeah, the Batman, it's an odd angle and it's very different. But the Flash, while it's great, I mean, how many times can you draw the Flash running really fast?
Yeah.
It's one of the things like Amazing Spider-Man 300. It's classic. It's iconic. It's been homaged to the point where it doesn't even stand out to me anymore.
Yeah.
It's just,
Probably should have lost.
It probably should have.
I think I 100%ed this week. Just saying.
I didn't follow. I'll look into that. How about the reveal covers? The size much better?
Yes.
Yeah, it's got the whole cover in this time.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely 100% better. Yeah.
Looks great.
Right, Pat?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So that is we'll remove that. Those are the results.
All right.
And the matchups, things don't get easier. Things don't get easier.
Yeah, I'm as excited for that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I matched them all up last night, and then Marcus wanted to do his picks for them. So I told him, I said, look, one of these is going to be really hard. You're not going to want to participate anymore when you get to this one and you have to make a choice. And every time you go, is it this one? Is it this one? I said, no, you're really going to know it. And when he got to it, he's like, you're right. I really know it. So, yeah, I can't wait to reveal these matchups.
Well, aren't you doing it right now?
Yeah, I'll do it right now. Let's go.
Yeah. I can't wait either. Let's do it.
All right. So we got, there's no introduction for this, right? I'm just going to throw that awesome graphic up there. I like it. And let me get to my page. Okay, here we go. Oh, these aren't in order. I'm not as prepared as I thought I was. All right.
Well, there's no order for these, right? You just kind of put.
Well, I have the pictures in one order and my list in another order.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, you got conflicting orders. Got it. Yeah.
Correct. So here we go. We're going to start with the first matchup, and we have Batman Harley Quinn versus Dark Knights of Steel #1. Mm-hmm. There's another classic versus modern.
Old school, new school. Yep. Well, that's not really old school. I mean, it's classic cover, but
that's early 2000s, isn't it?
That's what I was going to say. It was at late 90s or early 2000s. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Next up, Fantastic Four 250 versus Batman 55.
Oh, man. It's funny. We get this old school, new school look a lot. I mean, This is all just random, though.
Yep.
Because it's not like we got a whole lot of new school, a lot of old school. It's just, it seems to be set up like this a lot. Yeah. Complete coincidence, folks.
Yeah, this is all. I use the wheel. Okay, let me find where we are because these are. I'll just throw it up and we'll sort it out. Okay. Next up, we have Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane 81 versus Superman Batman 40.
Nice.
Yep, another one of those that. Yeah, I mean, actually, this one you can read it and it's Superman just being a jerk and pretty funny, but it's also a really cool looking cover.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, no question, they're awesome. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and then that Batman Superman, great balance on that cover.
Yeah.
Next up, Spider-Man 2099 versus Batman the Treasury Edition. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not. I'm gonna save the ultimate hard one for the very, very end.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, we have Action Comics 441 versus the Amazing Spider-Man 293.
Nice.
This one was tough for Marcus. He loves the Flash, and then that Craven is amazing.
So since he loves the Flash, he hates Action Comics because Flash is getting punched.
Well, you would think so, but Flash is on it, so
that's what matters. Okay, gotcha.
that's what matters. Oh, this is a tough one. This is probably one of the second toughest on this episode.
Oh,
337 versus Uncanny X-Men 222. I love this matchup.
Crap.
This is Walt Simonson versus Mark Silvestri. This is great.
Yeah, that's my favorite so far. Yeah.
All right, next up we have Venom #1, the Gabriel Del Otto variant versus Thor 587.
Huh, interesting.
Yep.
I've never seen that Thor cover before. That's good.
Last issue there. All right. Next up. Oh, okay. This is a good one right here. Moon Knight #9, and this is from Volume 5 versus X-Men #5.
Interesting. That's another interesting matchup. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have The Amazing Spider-Man #33 versus Deathstroke 40. Johnson. That's old school right there. All right. You ready for the hardest of them all?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right. I'm just going to do it.
Oh, man. Oh.
2 versus the Uncanny X-Men 268.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
You're like, you don't even want to participate. I don't want to pick.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a classic Jim Lee, and then obviously it's just Alex Ross doing what Alex Ross
Awesomeness.
does.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. All right. Yeah, like 3 or 4 of those yet again will be super tough for me, at least. That's for sure.
Exactly. All
right. So once again, to remind everyone, vote. As Mike was mentioning, we had 25 voters in round 1, dropped to 18 in round 2. Let's get that jacked up. And also keep in mind, you got 2 things you're voting for. 1, you're voting for all 10 of this week's revealed matchups. And then also to enter to win this bad boy, predict who you think is going to be the winner before the round 3 reveals next week. And then once we get to the end, if who you predict or the cover you predicted is going to be the overall winner, you get this bad boy. And if there's multiple people to pick the same cover, first person that predicts it gets it. So everybody let everyone know that you can win awesome stuff, and this is a lot of fun anyway.
Yep.
And I hope by the time we get to the final week, we're going to have like, okay, we got 80 votes for this one and 72 votes for this. That's what I want. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Just to show you guys.
No, Mike was like, "Oh no, I'm not hoping. That sounds like a lot of work. I don't want to do that."
I've got a spreadsheet, and every initial, I type every initial, and then I count them. So if I have to type 80 initials and count them,
well, in my example, there's 152 initials. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah.
That would be great, though. It would be a fun pain in the butt to have.
Well, we're going to hit this spot that one day we're going to take off, where it will increase all of our work involved tenfold without any financial benefit. To where hopefully we get to a point where there's some financial benefit. We'll taper off of that. So we'll it's going to be a tough spot. But anyway, not that we don't have tons of work already. That's for sure.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna leave now, and I'm gonna go vote on these, and then I'm just kidding. Whose car is being stolen?
Oh my gosh! At this point, I just hope it's mine. So, I'm across from a car dealership. Car dealerships are closed on Sundays, so I have no idea when this alarm is going to shut off now.
Oh, jeez.
That's funny. Someone's probably out just looking. Oh, let me look at this truck and try to open it.
Yeah. You every time you unmute yourself, Pat, you're just gonna have to talk extra loud, I guess. Get your mic right up to your mouth like this, and then. All right. So, which brings us to another segment for you, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for yet another segment?
I am. More covers.
Nice.
More covers.
More covers. You are prepared. Well, that's another thing you didn't see, Pat, when you were gone, when we had to start without you, is I did a new Profits video. I won't play it again now, but I had a lady that was picking the covers, and I spelled everything correctly, and they were in the right order and everything. I fixed it all. It was good. Yeah. I'll show you after the show. All right, Mike. What you got?
So this is the Profits window is closed. And no surprise, we did have a submission from our good friend Steven.
Nice.
His choices were Superman, which is actually Action Comics.
Yeah.
46, Lee Bermejo. Darth Vader, number 26. And Carnage, number 5. Those are Steven's submissions.
All right.
Those are his guesses.
Go, Steven.
Fingers across for. All right. So in third place, we have, and there were no ties this week, Carnage number 5 by Kendrick Lim.
Nice. All right. Go, Steven. He's still on the board.
So I think this is the first week Circle Carnage. All right.
He's still on the board. I think this is the first week he's still been on the board after the first reveal.
It's why I think it's first week he got 2 of the 3. I think.
I don't think so. I could be remembering wrong. I'll have to isolate. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not.
Oh, come on. No. All right. So next up, Number 2 with 7 votes.
Oh,
Number 4.
sorry,
Steven.
Steven.
I was rooting for him. I was surprised with this, but not surprised with this. Whenever we have these extremely artistic, I mean, they're all artistic, but this falls into a different category, I guess.
Yeah, I suspected this was going to be a winner based on my house votes, but yeah, I didn't pick this one. Yeah,
I did.
Did you pick it, Pat?
I did not.
All right, and coming in at number 1, the man who hates sand.
Wow.
8 votes, and so Patrick picked 2 correct again. I mean, not Patrick. I'm sorry, Steven.
Yeah.
I only picked
Wait, there
one.
you go, doubling down, saying he picked 2 correct again. I think this is.
I know. I did double it down.
Anyway,
let me go back here and look at my notes.
I'm shocked. I'm literally shocked this was number 1. Did you vote for this, Patrick?
I did. Yeah.
Mike, you voted for it?
Wait, let me see. Usually I put everybody's initials on it, and no, I did not vote for this one.
Wow.
Yeah, this one had 8 votes. But every cover had votes this week, so that spread it out pretty thin. I mean, we had some with 2 votes, some with 1, a bunch with 2. Yeah, 3 with 2. So.
I mean, it's a good cover. It's just not I mean, what do I know, though? Obviously nothing.
Did I hear you, Mike, talking about having trouble coming up with 10 this week when I was on my way in?
Well, yeah, I came up with 7, and then I let Marcus pick 3.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, what 3 did Mark pick?
He picked Carnage, Judgment Day, Scotty Young, and S.C.R.F.L.S, Captain Marvel.
Okay. So one of us made the top 3. Congratulations, Mark.
Yep. And it's so.
Oh,
funny.
wait, this just in.
Oh. I swear, I thought the first week that he selected,
got 2 out of 3 as well.
He got 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that was a good week, though, Steven. Good job. Thanks for playing again.
And the heartbreaker was every time Lee Bermejo has been on our list, he's come in at number 1. But those were all Batman. This is Superman, which I did vote for this one.
Me too.
And yeah, he came up short. He had 5 votes, which was 4th place.
That's honestly what I was predicting would be the number 1 cover. I thought it was going to win.
I thought it was going to win. Whenever I, put them all together before any votes came in, I thought that's going to be it. But that Darth Vader, I don't know.
You want to talk us through artistically through this cover, Patrick? What really grabbed you about this?
I'll just say, full honesty, this week's covers, I had a really tough time picking 3. So it was sort of like the best of the ones that I sort of liked,
Oh, wow. Okay. Did you pick the action as well?
No, I did not pick that one.
Come on. You had a tough time picking. You didn't pick that one? Come on.
I didn't like that one very much at all, honestly.
It was just too many lines to it or too much to it? Or...
Superman looked a little ugly, I guess, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just wasn't my week to like the covers, I guess. It happens.
Yep. The Miles Morales, man, I loved that one. I'm like, I'm voting for that. I'm definitely voting for that. And then when I went to pick my 3, I didn't even pick that one.
Well, that happens too, I imagine,
Yep. Yeah.
So. All right. Good stuff. Now we want to do we're going to do our reviews before we get into what you spun on the segment wheel last week, correct?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was gonna take a nap.
We haven't been on that long because we started so late.
Yeah, but I've been doing this cover thing for a half hour.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I get you now. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Oh, wait. Let me throw this up. Oh.
Okay. Go.
All right. All right.
876. Got it. All right. Here we go again. All right, I guess I'm first this week.
Yep.
Okay, I can handle it. Get my notes here. First thing I read, again, in my theme of continuing on titles, I read Wolverine Patch number 4.
I almost said Patch. It's about time for Patch to come out.
Yeah. This is written by Larry Hama, art by Andrea DeVito, and Labine Underwood. Do you just consider the inker and the colorist and penciler all the art by when you say the artist?
I usually just do the penciler, unless it's a noted inker, and I'll throw them in as well. Like Scott,
okay.
Danny Miki, I think is another one.
Gotcha. Okay, and I had a correction on this one. I mentioned when I reviewed number 3 that this took place about the same time or right before Wolverine number 3 back in 1988, but it's actually Wolverine number 31, not number 3, which I don't know if that makes a difference to anybody, but I did want to correct myself. And refresher, this story takes place in Madripoor, and basically Patch was hired to go investigate a plane crash. And when he was investigating the plane crash, he found and fought a couple new mutants, not literally like the new mutants, but a couple mutants that were new to me, Beth and Gimmel. And, you know, there's a lot of action in this book. And we came to find out that the plane crash was actually due to Beth and Gimmel kidnapping, I guess. I don't know. I shouldn't call it kidnapping. I think that's a couple times I define it as that. But they took their daughter, Aleph, which is another mutant. It's a baby. It's a toddler. And they were running from the Russians because the Russians, when they found out they had a daughter, this daughter is more powerful of a mutant than Beth and Gimmel, and wanted to, you know, basically make Aleph their own. And so they took Aleph and ran, and then they crashed in as a result of them trying to escape with their daughter. And there are all kinds of fighting, or there's all kinds of groups involved in this fight. Like I said, Wolverine is just there originally under the guise of investigating this plane crash, but there's a whole bunch of fighting parties involved because they know about Aleph. The Yakuza is involved, General Coy and Mercs, the Prince, KGB, and S.H.I.E.L.D., primarily using mandroids, all are involved in this fight to try to get or save, depending on what side they're on, Aleph, the super mutant, which is the daughter of Beth and Gimmel, and Aleph's ability is healing. And in this issue, we also learned she can also put people to sleep. she can just kind of get into their head and make them take a nap just out of nowhere. So I've given positive reviews to the first 3, and it continues with this one. And basically we don't really move forward in the story too much, which it might be a complaint for some people, but this just continues the fight that was started in number 3. Everybody's just fighting everyone, and this gets a little tricky in the way that Wolverine, coming to the realization he can't beat all these guys, all these different factions of fighters. He actually tries to get in the middle of them and have them start shooting each other with crossfire. And this wasn't actually, he was just kind of using crossfire as a way to have them accidentally kill each other. But with that happening, we discover that they've had plans to kind of, betray, double cross each other from the beginning. Like they're all like, oh yeah, let's team up and go get these mutants. But we come to find out that all along their plans were, you know what, actually, when we get a hold of this mutant, we're just going to kill everybody else and have her to ourselves anyway. So when the crossfire starts to happen, it actually builds, because then since they are looking to betray each other, they don't think the crossfire is by accident. They think it's, oh man, they're doing to us what we had planned to do with them. They're just trying to do it first. So then they intentionally start fighting each other, which of course helps Wolverine, Beth, Gimel, and Aleph escape. And that's what kind of happens at the end of this. There, it seems like they've escaped, and there's a lot of carnage in this. Not Venom's carnage. There's just a lot of carnage in this book. This is a graphic book too. Like I actually had to look at the cover of this, and this is rated 14 plus. But man, this is such a graphic book with so much carnage. I swear it should be a mature almost. Like literally, they have ones where Wolverine just puts his blade in people's faces, and they show how graphic that is and everything. So it's an extremely graphic book, but I recommend it. Definitely a must-have for Wolverine fans, in my opinion. And I definitely think it's a get it for anybody because I'm really liking the story, and I've said every time that this is the Wolverine I know and love, and I liked it a lot, even though it didn't move the story forward too much. It was good.
Yeah,
and then
real quick about how graphic Wolverine is. When we first started reading X-Men, we're always just waiting for that moment where Wolverine would be violent like that, and they would show it, but it never really happened. It took a long time for that to really come out.
Yeah, when Logan first came out, obviously we got to see it in Logan, so that was pretty cool with the movie Logan. But I think this is the first time I've read Wolverine where it's as graphic as it is. So anyway, the second book I read is also a continuation, Legion of X number 4, and I think I may have only reviewed 1 and 2. I don't think and I may be wrong about that. I tried to look back the last few weeks. I couldn't exactly see. It's been a while since I reviewed whatever it was I reviewed, but I definitely didn't review 3. So to revisit what this was about, this whole story takes place I shouldn't say the whole story, but a majority of it takes place in Legion's mind, in this place he calls the Altar, where mutant psyche can just kind of go and live free and not have to worry about anyone chasing them and everything. But of course, that doesn't last long. There's actually some, killing and some anarchy happening. And turns out we discover this mutant, again, a mutant that's new to me, called Switch. And basically this mutant can become anyone else at any point in time, and not only just look like them, but actually become like. So if he becomes Nightcrawler, he can literally, teleport himself just like that, gets the abilities of the mutant he takes over as well. And Nightcrawler is sent to investigate and try to find out who Switch is. and that's what I kind of covered when I was reviewing it before. And like I said, I not only didn't review 3, but I didn't even read it because something I missed. But what happened is there's another character I was unfamiliar with, Mother Righteous, that showed up in the end of 2, and she actually gives Ghost Rider's ability to Banshee to beat Switch. Okay, so I didn't read that comic, so I don't know how that played out, but they just referenced it in this one. So when this comic begins, Switch is actually in a container. They've actually caught him and contained him, and I think maybe the second page, somebody, we don't know who it is, we just see hands come and bust open the container to let Switch go. So it kind of starts up again a little bit. But again, another thing that happened in issue 3 that I missed was they're referencing this god that was in the book in 3 that is now missing. And we come to find out that god is this guy. I'm actually going to show you a picture of it. This may be a key. This guy's name is Tumult, the Trickster Chimera. And he's like a bunch of gods, actually. He's part Loki, and I can't remember. No one else I heard of besides Loki. None of the other gods had I heard of besides Loki. But there's like 4 or 5 other gods. This one character that has taken on the abilities and power of 4 or 5 gods, including Loki. And he's the one that let Switch go. So now he's a new problem. And we don't get any real conclusion to this, but we do discover that Tumult, the god, was actually sent by the Arbitrix of Araco, which I'm not familiar with that character either, but everybody was shocked in this that he was actually sent by this character. So I guess this character is a good guy, or it's actually a big floating eyeball. Are you guys familiar with the Arbitrix of Araco? No. Another cool thing that happens in this too is Switch does before this ends as well. Switch actually takes control of Legion. We don't see any subsequential effects of that yet in this issue. But when this issue also ends, Switch is in control of Legion. So it's getting ready to get real nasty. And I mentioned this before with this. This is like a very sophisticated book. I mean, it's so complex and so complicated. I'm serious. I don't know, any kids that would really kind of track with this. It is all over the place. It is a nightmare in a bunch of different directions. And also it's very adult. So, does anybody know Weaponless Zen?
No.
She's another mutant that I wasn't familiar with, but this comic, 20 pages, probably 10 of these pages has visuals, not graphic visuals, but visuals nonetheless, of Nightcrawler and Weaponless Zen sleeping together. And I don't mean taking a nap. So it's like, I was kind of surprised with that being in here. But it's very adult in that way as well. So basically there's a lot of it where they're doing that and they're talking. They're kind of describing, and then they show us what they're talking about, and then they kind of go back and forth through a lot of this book. And then lastly, an added note at the end of this book, then we get a letter that Professor X has written to Nightcrawler, kind of yelling at him almost, that Nightcrawler, who he's been actually locking up, or psychologically locking up all the people that he's been investigated during this entire book, kind of locking them up with no conviction or no proof or anything. It's just if he feels like someone's done wrong, he'll detain them. And Professor X gets on him about that at the end of this book too. So I feel like the next book will be not only what we see Switch does with Legion's body, but also kind of Professor X getting involved, not approving of Nightcrawler's tactics in this story. So, but once again, I gave this a positive review before. I'll say it's a get it. I wouldn't say it's a must-have, but it's a very complex book, and I think it's for mature readers. I'm not sure what the cover was on this, whether I actually listed it as mature or not, but
I think
watch
you said
out for
14.
well, I said 14 plus on the Wolverine, but I
Okay.
I don't know what it is on this one. But it should be mature, in my opinion, not only for some of the content, but as far as the reading of this book, it's very complex. I don't know any 14-year-old that would read this and go, "Oh yeah, I get it." It's very, Anyway, it's a good book though. I say get it. So that'll do it for me. And it might be another key. You never know. The Tumult, the Trickster Chimera. Who knows? He could become a big character. So I mean, it's definitely a key. It's his first appearance, but who knows if he'll ever become anything else? Who knows?
Yeah. He looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So what you got, Mike? I think you're on deck.
I am. I'm going to break from tradition.
Okay.
I didn't actually read a book. I tried because I'm like, okay, I got to review. And I did this morning because I've been spending a lot of time on the cover combat and
Yeah.
different stuff. So I didn't. I think I was going to read Sandman 1, just since it coincides with the TV show. Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, Aliens 1, all kinds of stuff. And I'd start it, and then I was kind of not in a reading mood. So I'll do a little preview since I haven't been able to do it. And in case you didn't know, I figure I'll do a preview of what the next one's going to be, which we'll do that. I'll be doing that after cover combat is over. And we're going to be talking about Frankenstein Alive by Steve Niles and Bernie Wrightson and Kelly Jones. So I'll be giving you some little tidbits on that short series. It was a 4-issue miniseries, and that's the version. So that's basically just a sneak preview, no review.
Okay.
But this was a great series. Maybe I'll read that also and review it.
I think you definitely should, since you brought it up during this segment.
Yeah. Well, I did read it initially. I'll reread the whole thing and do a review.
Oh wait, you read the? Okay. So that is something that was already out. The collection just came out, or is coming out.
It's been out, but it's going to be the subject of my in case you didn't know.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, what do you give it from when you remember reading it? Did you remember liking it?
I absolutely loved it.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and it would be a must get. It's for horror fans. It's Frankenstein,
Yeah. Okay.
And Steve Niles. So.
What you got, Pat?
Thanks for the segue, Mike.
Nice.
You're welcome.
That wasn't planned.
Was not.
Was that planned?
Yeah, Frankenstein New World #1 by Mike Mignola, Tom Sniegoski, and Christopher Golden, with artwork by Peter Bergting. This is a tough one to sort of jump in on. This is, spoiler alert, in case you weren't current with Hellboy universe, Hellboy is long gone. He's been dead for centuries. The BPRD is gone. In fact, everybody on Earth is pretty much gone, because in the Hellboy universe, Ragnarok occurred, and thankfully some surviving humans were able to shelter in the Hollow Earth, which is also part of the Mignola verse in Hellboy. They were led there while Earth was devastated by weird creatures, but society has flourished in the Hollow Earth, and this picks up centuries after that happened, with a small girl named Elijah, I think is how you pronounce her name. New character. She's a small child, but she's been having weird visions that evil is coming back to Earth, and these visions are coming from her by someone she's calling Star Lady. But Star Lady very much apparently seems to be Liz Sherman from the BPRD. She, Hellboy, and Abe all had pivotal roles at the end of Ragnarok. They all sort of sacrificed and sort of bridged the gap, helping humanity to live on. But she sort of became this, I don't know, energy being, I guess. She's apparently transmitting visions to this Elijah, who she knows that there's this oracle in this new society. And basically the oracle hasn't even moved in centuries. He's just sort of been a statue. And this oracle is Frankenstein, which, to get it right out of the way, it's okay to call him Frankenstein because Mike Mignola apparently saw that old meme from the Mary Shelley book where he wrote down a few additional lines at the end of the book, said, "Hey, it's okay. Everyone can call me Frankenstein." He's come to terms. He's taken his creator's name. He never liked his creator. But he has come to terms. He wants to be a better person. These all go back to the old Frankenstein books within the Mignola Hellboy universe, where Mike has continued to take the Mary Shelley Frankenstein, and very entertainingly so, although one of the books was canceled because of the editor's shenanigans, but we won't get into that. It's the Frankenstein from the Mary Shelley novel. He has become sort of like this omnipresent being, but now he hasn't done anything in years. I think because society is flourishing in the Hollow Earth world, but now this young girl is getting these visions. She wants to awaken the Oracle. All the adults say no, but she sneaks in and awakens Frankenstein anyway. He takes this threat as real, and he wants to set out to the surface world once again to check out what's up. And it's basically, he tells Elijah to go back to her village. Thanks anyway, but this is going to be dangerous. You stay here. But of course, the little girl follows behind Frankenstein up through the caverns that connect the Hollow Earth to the surface world. And basically, it seems to be, it's going to be about what they encounter on the surface. The surface has, vegetation, and these weird creatures have sort of taken over the earth, and there's still danger out there, but it's been totally reworked. And it's Frankenstein. He's going to try to find the source of these visions, Star Lady / Liz Sherman, and try to stop this impending doom. And as a matter of fact, they leave you with sort of like cliffhanger, where they're battling these strange, weird creatures, and they kill one, and it shows sort of the blood from this creature seeping down into the earth. And very Mignola-esque, they show, hundreds of skeletons that have been buried for years, and they sort of show this blood or viscous ooze oozing down from the plant life, and there's sort of like a skeleton that's kind of reaching up, and it's the nutrients are just about to hit this creature that has been buried for centuries, apparently. So we'll see.
Give you any idea who that might be?
No, I don't know. I initially thought that it may be a specific individual, but there's piles and piles of skeletons, so I just think it may be random.
Okay.
So this, it's always been interesting to see where Mike has taken this Frankenstein creature, and this is apparently the start of what was previously the Hellboy universe, where it goes from here. And it's like I said, it's a hard book to just jump into. There's a ton of sort of past knowledge you kind of have to know, or they assume that so it's not, I don't know if it's a great book for beginners, and that's why it's a get it for me, but it's going to certainly be up to the individual to see what, maybe test it out and see what he gets or he or she gets from it, because it is a hard book to just jump right into.
Gotcha.
But it's interesting. Very, very good artwork by Peter Bergting, who is sort of long been associated with the Hellboy universe, and Mike has had him on different projects, but this is, I believe, his first full miniseries he's been able to work on. So yeah, it's really good, but your mileage may vary.
Do they reference these things that you're saying you probably would be better off knowing? Do they reference kind of explaining it at all, or is it just kind of just totally assumed you'd know?
Yeah, it's kind of like you better be steeped in this world already, or you're going to be really lost. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Hey, so I got a question about your Hellboy comment too. You said obviously it's Hellboy's long gone, and pretty much everyone is because of Ragnarok. When did that happen in reality? Like in comics, was that recently at least?
As far as the comics coming out, it was probably like 2 years ago, I'd say.
Oh, really? It's been a long time since. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, then what do I see the new Hellboy BPRD books coming out then? Are they flashbacks?
If you take a close look at the covers, there's usually a date, like Hellboy in the BPRD, 1952, 1947.
Oh, okay.
So they all happened in the past.
Okay, it's a new book. It's just what happened in the past. Gotcha. Yep. Okay.
Lot of gaps to fill in there. So they're playing with the timeline.
Gotcha. So is that the only one you read? You got this week?
Yep, that was it. Just the one.
All right, cool. All right. So now we are going to do what we roll on the segment wheel, right?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that.
Which I'm going to use this time, too, to plug a little bit here. Let me... I was so interested in your review, Pat. I didn't set this up. It'll only take me 1 second here, though. Yeah, I'm feeling you now too, Mike, because I've got everything completely muted. I don't know why that's giving that feedback.
Ow.
Sorry about it. Sorry.
Usually that's me blowing things up.
All right. I'll take this time to real quick to plug the Whatnot Show. Just because I have this book on my easel that I use for the Get It or Forget It. And I almost took it off, and I was like, you know what? I'll just leave that and show it real quick. So for anybody who doesn't know, we have a Whatnot Show that we do on Fridays, which I'm actually going to change it this Friday to be 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody's like, what? That's so late. Apparently not, because I started at 7 o'clock, and I had to go into a 5-hour show to get to a point where there was a lot of activity. And then I changed it to 9 o'clock to have it be a little bit later, but still it didn't get real active until after 11 o'clock. I mean, I get a little bit of action prior to 11, but it seems like 11 o'clock is really when the show hits its stride, not only with, banter between myself and viewers, but also sales. So, and that's why we're doing it.
It was crazy how the number that 11 o'clock hour hit, and then the number just jumped.
Yeah, we went from like 2 or 3 viewers to like 7 or 8, like right away. So anyway, so this week I'm starting it at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm starting to do a theme, which I guess it was a theme before. Before it was the Very Variant Show. Now I'm doing a theme of Spider-Man this week. So we're gonna basically have all Spider-Man titles. And that being said, if anybody that has seen the show before is like, well, I wanted this one book you had, but I didn't grab it, blah, blah, blah. If I have anything in the room with me that you've seen on the past, I'll put it up also. It's just what I have planned will just be Spider-Man titles this week. Everything from Amazing to Web to Spectacular and just Spider-Man, all of it. Try to get some good runs together and see how that goes. And then I've got a Saturday show too, which is completely separate from comics. I call the show Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space. So Friday will be about comics and Saturday will be about collectibles. So last Saturday I did a Magic the Gathering show. So we're going to try to mix it up a little bit, but we've currently have 2 Whatnot shows. And our account name there is also Xcellar_comics. So follow us there. And I'm mentioning all this because I'm showing this Batman Harley Quinn, which not coincidentally enough was a part of Cover Combat today. You can win this cover or this comic from us.
Not just the cover.
Not just the cover. When we get to 500 followers on Whatnot, and we're not doing too bad. I think we're at 246 now. Once we get to 500 followers, we will give this book away, and we will also be showing the giveaway on Whatnot as well. Once we hit 500 followers, I'm going to do a show where we will, pull. What I do is when you buy a book, you get an entry, and you can get multiple entries too. Like speaking of Hamilton, he's usually on the show, and every purchase he's made gets him a new entry for this book. And for anybody who's not aware, this is obviously a great key book. It's worth well over $100 now, and this is in great condition too. So help us get to 500 followers on Whatnot. If you want to do it, just sharing it or whatever, but also then you make a purchase and you're entered in a giveaway for this book. All right, enough plugs for us.
Yeah.
Are we ready to do a long missed segment? I know you guys really missed this, but here we go.
You got a deal. Are you for real?
Where's my banner?
I don't know.
That's not me feedback in that time. I think that's you, Mike.
That's weird. Nothing's changed.
All right, I'm just going to take that one away. No banner. All right, here we go. Mike, you can go first.
All right. Sorry, I was just looking for your banner.
Okay.
But I'll go first. I'm ready.
First one we got is the red circle, the web, the red circle, one shot. So obviously number 1.
Yeah, I think the web is the title of the book.
And the story is the red circle. Yeah. All right, Patrick, your first one is Valor, number 9. I didn't even plan that. Where's Valor?
Oh, how about that?
Is this the book you named Valor after?
Character, partially, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Honestly, I just thought Valor was a cool name. I didn't know any history of that, and I didn't even know there was a character in DC named Valor. All right, so Mike, you got Undertow, number 1. Patrick. Now you got a cool one. Thanos versus Hulk. Number 1. Let me see something real quick. Are you moving around when that happens at least?
No, I'm not doing anything.
That's so weird. Okay.
I mean, it didn't start until the comic cam came up, but it's muted. I don't know.
All right, Mike. Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries. Number 4 of a 12-issue series, limited series.
You know what I realized? It's whenever there's background noise from yours or Patrick's feed, that's what I get feedback on.
That is weird.
Like when you guys are talking, it's fine, but when you're moving around and like putting books up and stuff, that's weird.
Huh.
Right, I'll just mute myself.
All right, don't forget to unmute when you want to say something though, because I want to hear your riveting comments. All right, Patrick, you got Aster number 1 foil cover.
Is that Eternity Comics? Eternity?
Entity. All right, Mike. Oh, Mike. Look what you got. That is, what is that? Superman or The Adventures of Superman? What number is that?
500, I think.
For anybody who doesn't have one of these, here's your chance. Hard to come by. JK. All right, Pat. You get Freak Force number 9. Cyber Force invades Freak Force. And Mike, you get the Fearless Defenders number 4. I actually always loved that cover. Pat, you've got Justice League of America number 41. Or Justice League America. There's no of there on that one, yeah. Mike, nice. An amazing 218. It's pretty sweet. It's a good mix of books. I love them when they're like this. Pat, you've got Iron Man 260. That's a great cover, too. Armor Wars 2. Mike. Dragon's Claws number 5. With Death's Head. I was always a closet Death's Head fan. One day I grabbed all those books. No, I didn't read them, though. All right, here we got a topical one. Deathlock number 2, and it looks like it's still in its bag. So I'd assume the trading card would still be inside, too. Oh, that's a must-get right there. Must-have. That was you, Pat, right?
Yes.
Mike. Vixen. Rebirth number 1. Interesting. I've never seen that one. It's pretty cool, though. Pat. Captain Marvel number 16. That looks cool, too. Mike. Skull Kickers number 3. That looks cool. I've never seen that before, though. That looks cool. Skull Kickers. I like that. It's good. You guys hear about that one before?
Yeah, forget there. Who's the artist on that book?
Mike Zubkovich,
Um,
Edwin Wang, Misty Coates. That's what it says in the title.
okay. At one
I mean,
point, at one point there was somebody else doing the pencils, I believe.
yeah.
I can't quite remember.
That was yours, right, Pat?
No, that's mine.
No, that was Mike.
Okay. Pat, you got a better one. Splitting image number 1. Yeah, I never cared for those. Mike, you've got Prowler number 3. That's a horrible cover. In my opinion, what do I know? I'm sorry, Pat. Oh. You got Green Arrow 25. Mike, you got Batgirl Birds of Prey number 1.
Let me see that Green Arrow cover again, Kev. Okay.
That's a good cover. It's awesome. All right, Pat. Pronounce that title for me.
It's based on an anime, correct? Maybe Mike might know this because of Korra.
I don't. I would pronounce it Ruby, but
Yeah, me too. But I think you just say RWBY. But I don't know. I've always been torn.
Korra doesn't read any of the big two, anything that's remotely anime.
Who was that? Whose book was that?
That's yours, Pat. Yeah.
What number?
1. It's probably worth $25 by itself.
You better hope.
Hey, Mike, have you given Cora a heads up that she's got a segment on the wheel she's going to have to work on when she gets spun?
Oh, I have not. I'm going to have to look into that. This one's mine, I think.
Yeah, this one's yours, Mike.
What issue is that?
Number 2, Marvel Mangaverse. Number 2.
Oh, I see the big 2 on the bottom.
Yeah. Never heard of it or seen it before either. All right, Patrick, I think this is your last one. Then we got one more for Mike. The Last Man, number 53. I really want to get around to reading these, or why The Last Man. I really want to get around to reading these. I never read them before I watched the show, and the show is interesting but annoying in some parts. And the premise is awesome.
Yeah, I'm putting together my set, but I refuse to pay more than $1 per issue.
Uh-huh.
And I have a reprint of number 1, so I got the big expensive one out of the way cheaply as well. But I'm getting there. I think I only need like 20 more issues.
All right, and last but not least, Mike. We got Spider-Woman number 3. All right, I didn't even really. Geez, it's been so long since we've done this. I forgot how to set it up. So basically, the 25 books I just showed. Let me confirm that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 25 books. This is a mystery lot we purchased, and obviously I just showed all of them, and you can check that out later. you want to see what's in there, Mike and Pat are diligently working on a value based on sold eBay lots of all of these books to give us a value of what this is worth. But regardless of what they say, you can buy it from us for what we paid, which is $25 plus shipping. And you can purchase this from us by emailing me at YouGotADealLotIsMine, all spelled out completely, at gmail.com. And first person to let me know they want it gets it. Like I said, $25 plus shipping, regardless of what Mike and Patrick are getting ready to tell us it's worth. Mike, what do you got?
Oh, I thought I was muted. 68.
68. Oh man, we're working good so far. We're looking
there were
good
a
so far.
couple, few big books in there.
Nice. Patrick, what do you got?
Calculating.
Okay. So this is already, borderline. You got a deal already, regardless of what Patrick tells us. Yeah.
41.
41.
I laughed at the RWBY.
Yeah.
So $109. That's a solid. You got a deal, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think the best value one we had was 120. I think that one the one after the week that was 120. Someone bought that lot. I'll actually post this lot on Whatnot too as a buy it now for $25 as well if you check out the Whatnot show. But even if you don't, just like I said, you can email me at YouGotADealLotIsMine at gmail.com. And you can get this $109 worth of books for $25 plus shipping. There's a lot of cool ones in there. That's for sure.
Yep. Amazing Spider-Man, Dragon's Claws. Those are the two big ones in mine.
Interesting.
The Adventures of Superman is nothing to ignore either. Just there were a lot of those printed.
Yeah. All right, awesome.
But you got to open that book.
Yeah. Well, then the other one too. What's the other one that was in a poly bag as well?
Deathlock, right?
Deathlock. Yeah.
Open those books. I open everything in a bag.
Get them out of there. What I usually do is I have one that I open up and take out of the bag, and then I have one I leave in the bag. Because there's people that prefer them left in the bag, of course.
They do. It's kind of funny though. Those bags are terrible. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, I know.
You could have just a book falling apart inside there.
Yeah. All right, Pat, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. You know, we should put together a soundtrack. I'm always jamming to all these songs. All right, what do you got, Pat?
Well, I kind of missed the beginning of the show, so I'm not sure how my segment was teased. But first, we'll look back at the last week's standings.
Yeah, I didn't get a tease.
That was right.
I did. I teased what we talked about. Yeah.
Okay. So just real quickly, here was last week's totals. Just to emphasize, I had long held out hope that this mystery figure might be revealed as Hellboy. No, it was not Hellboy. It was a boy. It's Airboy.
What?
Insert
Wow.
the Price is Right losing sound. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Now I get your double point you were making with the teaser. I said, boy, oh boy. Yeah, right.
right. Was a boy, just the wrong boy.
That's not going to entice anybody to order anything.
Well, we'll get back to that, Mike.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to cancel my order.
Yeah, so they announced them saying that they, hopefully they realized that, maybe this might boost some sales because they're getting near the end. I think there's about a week left, 10 days. And they announced the free figure. If you buy it through Big Bad Toy Store, you get the one figure free, and it's Airboy. In addition to Airboy, just like the Rocketeer troops that they announced last week, they announced some Madman variants, which are cool. This is a Madman Adventures costume, and both of these are limited to 200, like the Rocketeer troopers are. So Madman Adventures in the red and white, and a flight suit Madman, which obviously is reusing the Rocketeer body, and they're just repainting it as a Madman and putting a new head on there. Well, that is a new, different head from the two other Madman figures, so there's something there. So, I don't know if I'm not sure what's going on here. Are they, as you said, you would hope that maybe they would boost the sales, but I don't think they did, because I've updated the spreadsheet here, and you can see that they either neglected to update numbers, which I find it hard to believe there wasn't one more person that bought something, but the numbers remained the same from last week.
Huh.
Maybe they went down because people canceled orders.
Well, I mean, that could be a possibility. I don't know. I know. I keep waiting for Toy Otter, who's Jason Geyers, who's the sculptor on this line, to comment on Airboy, because I want to bring up the fact that he really had me on the hook with his vague clues, and you could sort of say that the boy part of it was possibly where I got things wrong, but I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, about 10 more days left. Now I'm sort of back on the fence,
Yeah.
I mean, I still hope they hit their goals.
Right. Yeah. Especially if you're big fans of these characters, for sure.
But yeah, I don't think they did themselves any favor with Airboy. It's
yep,
lackluster.
Yeah.
Did you read any Madman, Patrick?
Mike? Oh yeah, I'm a big Madman fan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read Madman, but
so I potentially would be in to get the Madman figures, and since I'm like,
hello,
going for the group. So
you broke up there a little bit. What'd you say, Pat?
Oh, I said, now I'm sort of back on the fence. Maybe I just pick and choose now,
Right.
Because I definitely pick up the Madman figures, but I don't know.
I was gonna say I'd definitely, if I were into figures, I'd get Grendel and Tick, probably be the only ones I'd get then.
Yeah. All right, so moving on from Long Box Heroes. Last year saw the Daniel Warren Johnson Beta Ray Bill miniseries come out. He's a very stylized artist. And they're doing a Marvel Selects figure of his take on Beta Ray Bill, which I think looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. That looks really cool.
And unfortunately, between the shenanigans that we went through this afternoon with me trying to get on here, it seems like I lost one of my Beta Ray Bill figures. So I only have pictures. So I only have two pictures.
Was the other one packaging?
No, unfortunately, they haven't shown the packaging.
Oh, okay.
This is a back shot. I just like his big, mohawk on his helmet there.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But the reason I had the three picks, because I wanted to highlight that there is a open mouth head sculpt and a closed mouth head sculpt, which is
okay.
Cool. And he also comes with his hammer, of course. And there's also an alternate hammer that has the spinning effect. So That's
Oh,
pretty
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hasbro Marvel Legends. They've talked about this for a long time. I think the figure had actually been leaked different places, but they finally officially, I think, just because they were holding off for the show to drop the She-Hulk Marvel Legends. It's part of the Infinity Ultron from the What If series Build-A-Figure wave. Those should be hit pretty soon.
I was gonna mention, I forgot when we were talking about She-Hulk too. Don't you think they missed a good opportunity? Because I thought it would have been so funny. You know, they had that whole spandex comment.
Yeah, right.
You know, it would have been funny. You know, near the end of the episode. You know, obviously when she was in court, if once she became small again, she was just standing there in spandex. Wouldn't that have been cool? I thought that would have been funny. That's kind of what I was expecting, but it just tore her suit a little bit. It didn't really even fall off of her at all. You know.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that have been hilarious?
Right.
Okay, anyway.
Another Marvel Legends they announced on Friday was this classic Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. Comes on the retro card. He's got an alternate sort of mid-transformation head sculpt. What's the poor Kevin?
Why? Just I don't know. It just doesn't look right. The way that maybe it's just the way that picture is. His flame just looked like a hairdo on his head, right? I mean,
honestly, it's even more so on the mid transformation. I wish I would have had a close up. I was trying to limit my pictures, but the sort of mid transformation almost looks like Syndrome from The Incredibles. If you can kind of see it.
Oh, really?
Because his flame looks like his big wispy hair on top. I don't know. I kind of tend to agree with you there.
Okay. Yeah, but the packaging's nice.
And again, early shot. Maybe
Yeah.
things may change. More translucent, and I think it would do it some good if it was more, translucent and see through.
Yeah.
It's all bow-legged on the packaging.
Yeah, that is.
Isn't right.
Now I'm not gonna be able to unsee that now.
Arms are extra long. Well,
I wonder why they did that.
Yeah, that is weird.
That's true. They could have just made him straight-legged. Yeah.
The only thing I can say is they keep hinting at the next HasLab is going to be either Robbie Reyes's Charger Ghost Rider vehicle, or maybe it's going to be Johnny Blaze's motorcycle. And they're showing that his legs are articulated, that he can ride a motorcycle. Yeah. I don't know. That's a stretch, just like his leg. It is weird. Thanks for making me notice.
The chain looks awesome.
Yeah. I thought Danny Ketch Ghost Rider was more of the chain Ghost Rider too. That's another. We're just going to tear this figure apart. While I'm at it, I always thought that Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider, his jacket had a blue stripe, not a gray stripe. But this may be a more modern take on Johnny Blaze that I'm not familiar with. Don't buy this figure, folks.
All right.
Yeah, the last thing I had, we're going back to the XM Studios expensive statue well one more time. This one's not nearly as expensive, but it's still expensive. This is classic Superman based on the art of Mark Brooks. They're doing this as they've done in the past at two different scales. 1/6 scale, which is a little smaller, and 1/4, which is like the Maestro that we showed last week. So you can see the measurements on there and the price. This is only going to be $718. If you want the smaller statue.
Wow, that's still, geez.
Yes. But here is the larger version. And the larger version comes in two different versions, A and B. The B version, which is the one I'm showing here, has two swap out arms and a head. And there you see the prices again in the dimensions. So the larger size, really a couple $100 more than the smaller version, but still, you can see the sort of the size reference to a coffee cup. And here we have a size reference to a human.
Yeah, I was to say that's 2 feet, almost 2 feet across.
Right.
And,
Man,
Yeah.
where are all these whales at with houses that are just decorated with these things? I don't know.
You ever seen Jim Mint's house from Comic Tom?
No, huh?
Statues that he has. Wow. But yeah, so he has swap out pieces to show him tearing apart this parademon. He's on an apocalypse base. There you can kind of see a close up of his face with his X-ray or heat vision. And there's a back shot. The only thing I don't like about or love about this statue is his cape seems too bathrobe-y, bath towel-y, you know? I think there's too much texture on it.
it's like a terry cloth cape.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks super thick. There he is with the regular arms and head. And you can sort of see the Mark Brooks coming through a little bit on that face, I think. And there's a close-up of the parademon, which is pretty cool too.
Well, that's definitely awesome if you're a Superman fan. That's for sure.
Yep. And you have lots of spare disposable income, so
Right.
but yeah, that's it. That's all I had for the Horizon this week. So Airboy,
That's good.
Airboy, Beta Ray Bill, and Superman.
I think back to when I was buying statues.
You just dropped Ghost Rider out of your recap completely. We hated that so bad you didn't even want to mention it again.
Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear anybody talk about Ghost Rider.
What? Are you being funny right now?
Trying to be funny. It's not working.
Well, I didn't know if it was you were being funny or you were having a senior moment. You know.
Today'd be the day for it.
All right.
Like I was saying.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
Back in early 2000s, when I was buying a lot of statues, $300 was a lot. And I got the big Thor with the interchangeable head, the clock tower Batman. Those Bowen statues were just, they were it. And wow.
Yeah, the most I ever considered spending was $425. I think I didn't pull the trigger, but I was on the fence on a $425. But that's it.
Yeah. So that was back before kids and a wife.
Right.
I can spend. I was going down to the store and I was probably dropping because I was just ordering a bunch of statues and I go down on payday and $700 in statues.
It was tough. Bowen was releasing at least a statue and 2 mini busts a month for a while there.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually got in a humongous fight with the guy I was living with at the time because I was late for rent one time and I had just gotten 3 statues that month. And he was like, man, just go sell one of those statues and pay your rent. Like, I don't want to do that.
No.
Yep. Okay. So now it's segment wheel time.
And I'm ready. Sort of.
You gonna do what I said? You just gonna put it up on the screen?
Yep.
All right, let me make you the photo. There you go. Lift it up, see how close you can get it.
Hold on, let me fix my screen here. I might be able to get it. Nope, it's blacking out. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's an ad. I guess I should just pay for the thing.
Yeah, it's probably like $2 a year or something.
I'll find out. Okay. All right. Luckily, I didn't accidentally spin the wheel.
Hey, can we get a recap of what's still currently on the wheel?
Yeah. Whatnot preview. Funko Pop fun. Unique topic and video game barrage.
Interesting. No, you're good.
Right.
We can just see through it because it's green at the top.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. Either way, let's just spin it.
Okay.
Low.
Whatnot preview.
Whatnot preview.
That's funny. We kind of had a whatnot preview today already. Okay, cool.
Hold on. Sorry.
All right, so next week, our two non-usual but cover combat is obviously a usual one. Segments are cover combat and the whatnot preview, which is actually kind of cool because I'll highlight what the themes will be for the following week there. So that's good. That'll be the first time we're doing that, so it's new, it's cool. Sorry. All right, cool.
I never do that, so I didn't know what button I was.
Yeah. Cover combat next week. So I guess we need to talk about or need to tell people what they can expect from that, right? Because you're going to reveal the final head-to-heads,
Yep.
which will leave 30 left. So that's going to be a 15v15 week, right?
Correct. Yep. And I'll have those ready as well.
And then the following week after that will be a 7v7 week.
Correct.
With the one book that's gotten the most votes at that point will have a bye week.
Yes.
And then the final week will be actually only the top 8 left, which we're gonna go from 8 to the champ in one show, right? Yes, that's what we talked about.
It works. Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably have to drop a couple segments off of there, but hopefully, that's 3 weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
We can get a few people that are willing to help us work out how we're going to work out that last episode. If we can get some viewership to be there for that episode and actually vote on the show, that's kind of, we haven't exactly worked out how that's going to happen. Right?
Right.
We'll talk about that more later, but that's basically how it's all going to play out. Because we don't want it to last, another 4 or 5 weeks after that to where we have 8 and then 4 and then 2 and right?
Yeah. I don't want to drag it out like that.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking one episode with the top 8 will be great. We just got to work out how that's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll make it up as we go. That's the way we do things.
Yeah. All right, but today, let's do our last segment here. Every time we eke up near 3 hours, I'm like, man, the show's been so long. But we have a lot of episodes that are actually close to 3 hours. So
it's just the way it actually goes.
Yeah. Are you ready, Mike? What do you got?
Oh, first, Steven is dialing it in on the profits. And I'm pulling for him for next week.
Very nice. Pat?
Wireless internet is essential.
Yes. She-Hulk is not as scary as I think she should be, physically or emotionally.
All right. I was unable to hear what Patrick said because it was all computerized, so it ties into mine. Technical difficulties continue.
Yeah, I said wireless internet is essential, and I'll follow it up with electricity is also essential.
Airboy who?
I think you skipped me.
I did. I was so excited.
I had a riveting one here. Wolverine still keeps delivering for me. Pat, Mike, now it's your turn again.
Airboy who?
I'm going to keep it central to myself and say car alarms are annoying, especially when, spoiler alert, they are your own car alarm going off. You know.
It was not, was it? It was yours. That's
I had
great.
I don't usually carry my keys in my pocket when I'm in the office, but I had everything was so, and they were in my pocket, and I must have bumped up against the
That's funny.
chair, and I'm like, come on, turn this alarm off.
I'm gonna go that direction too, and keep it centric to me. I was right, and Mike was wrong.
Ghost Rider who?
That's nice. That's good.
I'm out.
All right. I'll just close it with the prizes that Xcellar Comics give away are huge. They're huge. They're enormous. All right. All right. That was fun. It's good. So, reminders. Follow Xcellar Comics on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to Xcellar Comics on YouTube and Anchor by Spotify, and follow Xcellar_Comics on Whatnot and TikTok. Excuse me. I'll be posting a edited podcast version of this episode no later than Tuesday. I've been doing pretty good lately, though. I should just say no later than Monday. And there will be a trivia and a poll attached to that. I do it every week. And actually, we finally had a good week. I don't exactly know what happened, whether y'all wanted to listen to it or not more. But we actually had 5 times the amount of listeners on our podcast this week, as opposed to the previous 10 weeks. It was a good week for some reason with the podcast. So that made me happy. So, but it'll only be edited because a commercial will be added for it, and the music at the beginning is taken out, but everything else is exactly the same. Check out what we have. Oh, wait. And then I will also be posting a video of a recap of the show and a video of the cover combat choices on YouTube this week. I'll get the cover combat out first, probably, and then do the recap by like Wednesday or Thursday. But you can, not only vote here, but you can also vote on Facebook. There'll be a cover combat post, and then on the subsequent segment that I separate on YouTube as well. Vote anywhere for cover combat. We want to get a lot of people participating in this, and like I said, if you can predict who the winner is before next week, you can win that again, this awesome vibranium collection of the 75th anniversary Captain America. And again, check out the Whatnot shows on Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week's themes are Spider-Man and Star Wars, primarily action figures for the Star Wars show. And then I think that covers them all. Did I forget anything? I feel like I forgot something.
I don't know.
You're like, don't you have cards? Aren't you looking at your cards? Sometimes I forget to flip my cards. But that's it. I think I got it all.
I think you can.
Yeah. Oh, and the S.C.R.F.L.S goal sweepstakes. Subscribe to, comment on, retweet, follow, like, and or share Xcellar Comics on all of those social networks as well, and you'll be entered in the S.C.R.F.L.S goal sweepstakes. So, all right, this felt like a rough one for multiple reasons. But every time it's felt like a rough one in the past, I watch it later. I'm like, you know what? That's actually a pretty good show. So I'm hoping that pans out this one too, right, Mike?
Yep. Yeah, I like the adversity every once in a while. We don't want something overly produced.
Right. And I'm going to tease this right now too. In a few weeks, we'll all be together in one house for a show as well, which that'll be a lot of fun.
We need to keep it more garage band.
Yeah. I told Johnny too. Everybody wants to see his beautiful mug too. So he hopefully during that show, since we'll be in the same room, everybody will actually be able to see how much of a stud Johnny is. So
Yeah.
He either shows his face or wears a Wave Rider mask the whole time.
either one would work. Yeah. All right. So that'll do it. Thanks for checking us out. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. And until next time, don't forget that appreciating great art is awesome and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.